All right, fight fans, in light of KSI hitting the ring again, we have on the broadcast team for the Zone X series, Wade Clemens. Welcome.
What's up, brother?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Good. Thank you.
Look, thanks for joining us. I know your flight is delayed. You're about to hop on the jet and head over there to the UK. Look, what was the first? We all know that the Dylan Danis fight was really highly anticipated with KSI. Once he dropped out, what was your first thought? Like, is this dude scared? Is he really injured? Like, what was your first thought?
Is he fat?
Is he fat? Yeah, so that was kind of it, because I was one of the only guys that kind of got fooled here. There's a lot of people that were like, no, he's not going to make it. He's not going to show. He's going to pull out. Dylan had never pulled out of a fight in his life, ever.
Right. Wow.
And so I was on this, I'm an MMA guy, came from the MMA scene to the boxing scene. I was like, no, this guy's going to fight. Just, you know what I'm saying? He's playing the game. He's doing some mind game stuff. And then my first thought was, oh no, like this guy really was not prepared at all. He did not understand. And it frustrates me, man, the disrespect of a real fighter to pull something like that on that late notice and jeopardize the event really, really frustrates me. But yeah, man, I was shocked.
Well, check this out. I've heard you say that you believe KSI and Jake Paul will happen this year, but when you think about it, KSI has never really fought anyone that he originally tried to fight in his second go around. And this is him actually trying to prepare for Jake. So since he hasn't done that, do you think he'll still have that right mindset to say, okay, I fought these guys, I'll be ready for Jake Paul?
Yeah, you know, KSI's mind is different, man. He genuinely thinks he's going to smoke everyone they put in there with him, right? He is, regardless of the experience he has or his opponent's experience, he believes that he is levels above even Jake Paul. He thinks he's going to genuinely smoke Jake, regardless.
Yeah, but I have to say one thing. Wait, I understand he says that, but he kind of talks a lot of crap about Jake Paul, but is still saying he's not ready. So, you know, that's kind of hard to believe, you know?
No, I agree with you, man. I've said from day one, you know, right now, you put it in a bubble, Jake beats him. That's just what it is. You know, it is. It's just what I read from KSI, and I've talked to him personally.
I'm saying you don't think KSI is ready for Jake?
Not at the moment.
No, I don't. And not at the moment. And I think that it's gonna take it's gonna take far more experience. So I need these two fights that are coming up now and hopefully in the summer to be real tests for him, right? So Temper, we're going to see how that test plays out. And then the next, should he get through Temper, is got to be a real test, a Tyron Woodley, possibly a Tommy Fury. I know those are big jumps, but you're going to have to make them if it's going to be Jake next, you know?
Agreed.
But yeah, but that's what I think it is, man. I think right now he's just not ready.
Wait, were you more entertained than you expected with these DAZN X Series fights? I mean, the first one, me personally, you know, I'm here in my living room and my kids were watching it. We were actually entertained throughout that broadcast. Yeah. So were you surprised? Did you expect less?
No. Anytime these higher level entertainers and influencers are involved, and it's something that I think that the normal boxing world is starting to see, they put everything behind it because they truly want to be the biggest entertainment show they can be. And sometimes the skill level isn't what you see from a pro boxing event, but the entertainment level, the organization. most times, yeah. But the organization of the event, and they're taking it as seriously as they possibly can. I knew this was going to be something big, especially with KSI involved. So yeah, I didn't expect any less. I've been in this scene for a couple of years now, but I will say I am pleasantly surprised at how seriously everyone's taking it. They're not taking it like a joke. Guys are actually training and they're getting ready. So that's been the big surprise for me.
That's one thing I respect about all of these YouTubers. You know, they're taking it seriously and they're getting in there and they're risking their lives like everybody else. Well, who do you think the fans say is the best influencer boxer? Not excluding Jake Paul, because I'm sure he doesn't even want to be called that anymore.
Right. You put Jake aside and it's a mixed bag. You know, there'll be KSI's fans who say KSI number one. And to be fair, him beating Logan was a big deal when it happened, but the game has moved on, right? He has been fighting a couple of the guys that weren't on his level for the last one. Mm-hmm. So the gap is closing a bit. You could throw names out, Anisan Gibb, you could throw his name out. You could throw Slim, your boy Slim. Him and I got to get in there and rumble it up. You know what I mean? You could throw in, you know, some up and comers like Salt Poppy, Josh Bruckner. They're both on this card as well. So there's some names out there that you're going to see this weekend. They're going to go, oh, maybe that's the next guy. You know, maybe that's the next superstar.
Who do you think is the closest guy to be able to compete on a professional level in the boxing world? Meaning a guy that wasn't born into the sport, guy didn't grow up training, but took it up really late and is part of this scene, but has a lot of talent.
That's a tough one, man, because there's some guys that have just now started boxing as YouTubers that have been training since they were younger, like a guy like Salt Hoppy, a very, very skilled cat.
Yes.
And I know he's been training in the Philippines for, God knows how long. I heard he started boxing at 9 or 10 years old. So just because he's just now starting, people are starting to see it. But I would say either him as a pro,
right?
Dean the Great would be another one. Waleed Sharks would be another one. Those two guys are very, very good. And I think Waleed even has a little bit of an amateur background. But I will say, and again, it's going to take some sharpening up of the edges. But Slim is a guy that's shown a great aptitude for this sport. I would say another one, again, at a lower level, he hasn't fought on DAZN, but Logan Paul, should he get healthy and come back, very athletic guy, big, strong, fast. He's a problem if he would take this as seriously as some of the other guys would take it.
He's just in a dangerous weight class. Logan Paul.
I know. But here's another thing that Logan can do. He's a former wrestler. He can cut and get down to 85, possibly 77, 75. So it'd be interesting. But yeah, he's in a dangerous weight class where he sits.
Right. Can you give me a influencer fantasy fight that you'd like to see?
Oh, man. The one that's on my mind, has been on my mind for forever now. I want to see Slim and a Nissan Gibb. That one is the one. And Gibb hasn't fought on DAZN. A lot of people that watch just Misfits may not know who he is, but he's another guy that Jake Paul beat. He fought him. Actually, that's right. No, he did fight on DAZN. He beat Jake beat him on DAZN.
Paul beat him, right.
But he kind of went away from this scene as far as the DAZN, but he's starting to rack up wins outside of it. He's getting better and better, and he just had a great performance last year. Him and Slim have been on this trajectory to face each other for a long time now. That could be a main event on Misfits coming soon. I would really like to see that one.
One thing that Barack and I have had to deal with over the last few years regarding this is the backlash from the hardcore boxing fans, right? Because we understand the business, we understand what they bring to the table. So we're caught in the middle a lot. How do you respond to those hardcore fans that maybe even attack you on social media or say, this is not real boxing, yada, yada, yada. Like, what's your comeback? What's your first comeback line?
I would just say, what's different about it to you? If it's the skill level, fair. But do you not start somewhere as a pro boxer when you're in the gym and you're watching someone's first amateur bout and you go, these guys are garbage, this is bullcrap? Or is it because guys are taking up big headlines? Because let's be honest here, if these guys are taking up headline spots, main event spots, and let's say, for example, Jake and Gibb, Billy Joe Saunders was on that card, Devin Haney was on that card. They got more money, more exposure from that card by Jake and Gibb being on it than they would have standing alone and fighting guys that, let's be honest, the people that bought that card didn't know. So the complaints that you'll get are, they're not taking it as seriously. We'll prove that to me, because they're taking 6 months out of their day and they're going and doing camp. Jake is taking it to a level that I've never seen as far as his training and the time he's put in, because he can. He's got the money and everything else. So the hardcores will come out and say that these guys aren't real boxers, and they're not trying to be. They're trying to be influencer boxers fighting in their scene. And if we happen to sprout one or two that come into the pro scene, then we'll see what it is. We'll have that fight and we'll see. And that's probably what Jake is trying to do. And that's kind of the only guy we have right now. But outside of that, they're in their own lane. They're promoting. They're doing their thing. I don't see any problem with it.
Man, we got to bring you a Wade. I got to help you. You got to help me on my social media to respond to these people.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean,
man, I got you.
What you said makes sense. They're in their own lane. And guess what? The headlines and the spotlight is not promised to any man. Right. They built their own headlines. They built their own spotlight, and they're not taking your belts, your status, your rankings. They're not taking anything from the boxing world. So this is just a form of entertainment that you get to like or dislike. Just like wrestling, just like football, just like anything else. It's your choice to like or dislike. Nobody's going online saying, I can't stand this football, I like basketball.
Exactly. I got a story for you guys real quick. Yeah. We were in London for Misfits #1, and Chris Eubank Jr. was on the call. He was there doing some stuff behind the scenes, and he was on the actual live call. They filled that stadium up 20,000 before KSI ever walked for the first fight. And I watched Chris Eubank Jr., who's been in legendary fights, been in legendary venues, obviously, legendary family. look up into the stands and go, oh my God, what the hell is this? And you watched him after that fight. You watched him on social media now. What's he adopted a little bit of? He's adopted a little bit of this gamesmanship, the mind, you know what I'm saying, doing the stuff with Conor Ben and eating all the food. You've seen a little bit of that. And I think it's a benefit to those guys that can take from our scene, just like our guys are trying to learn from them. It's a give and take, man.
I mean, that's he has taken some of that bravado. And I think that because he was in attendance and got to witness that firsthand, he probably has a different perspective. You know, I guess a lot of these hardcore fight fans are watching from a screen and they're not really experiencing that world. So people need to maybe go to the fights.
Exactly.
There you go.
I want to know something, Wade. Have you had any YouTubers or influencers that reached out to you, maybe in a DM or whatever, or that reached out to the Misfits and wanted to be down that hasn't fought on DAZN yet?
Oh man, there's been so many. For some guys, they don't want their names said yet because they're trying to get ready. But yeah, there's guys reaching out to me all the time and say, hey, can you get me in contact with Mams Taylor? Can you get me in contact with KSI and sending me footage? And how does this look? And I'm ready to get in there. I mean, there's some big names out there. There are guys like.
All right, so tell the truth. Did Ox send you his video?
Listen, Ox been sending me this, bro. He's sitting behind me.
Listen, Akim Barak need to join you and Addy on the broadcast, and then I'm going to get in the ring after Slim wins. I'm going to get inside the ring.
There you go.
And call them out, man. Now I got to lose too much weight though, man. I don't know if I can do it.
So Wade, you think this is your year too to get in that ring?
We'll see, man. We'll see. So I've been wanting to. It's the problem with me is some blood clot issues that I deal with. It's genetic stuff, but we'll see. You know, that's all I dealt with last year. But man, you know, the scene itself has been so good to me, and the best way I can give back right now is my voice. And knowing what's coming down the line, I don't want to miss that. So I'm doing this, and then you know, we'll talk about Jake and KSI in November, December. Maybe if I'm feeling it up then, absolutely.
Right, I'd be down to do it. It's not off the table. It's not off the table.
It's not off the table. It's like right there on the side. It's my side thing, you know.
Well, listen, we look forward to seeing you on the call, and we'll be tuned in for sure, man.
Appreciate you guys.
Take it easy.
All right, take it easy, brother.